Alright folks, as you requested, I'm going to do a video of the intestines. As you can see, I've got different latex here. This is one I've used several times. These are new ones that I got from Amazon. It was a pack of 2 for $16 delivered. We're going to try that one and see how that turns out. These are paints that I used to use for blood. You can use different stuff. This is what I'm using now. I found this guy on Facebook. We all know what permablood is. And your simple paint. And like I said, this is all being done on a simple little mirror. What I did was go out and got another one just so I can speed the process up a little bit for myself, just because I want more things done. And we got an audience today. Now what I do is I pour down some of the latex and spread it out and thin it out, and I'll do that for this one 4 times. And as you can see, I spread it out and utilize some of that space. So I'm going to do that 3 more times and let that dry. Just a little word to the wise, once it does start to dry a little bit, you'll see it get clear. Leave it alone. Don't touch it again with your brush, you will tear it. This would be the first layer. You can see it's starting to dry on the first mirror. And then I usually take and put my brush in a Ziploc, so that way it doesn't stick to everything and I can use it later. So now here's a view of it slowly drying. This is more for those that have not used the liquid latex. You'll think it's disappearing, but that's actually just drying. So let all of it look completely clear like that. I kind of cheat a little bit, and I use fans to kind of speed the process up. Now make sure you wait until it's completely dry before you do the next layer. And now I'm going to put 3 layers before I start doing any of the blood or coloring of it. Now here's one that's completely dry, ready for its second coat. And then here, see here is where I got a little heavy. So I'm still gonna have to wait for those to dry before I get the second coat on. But I'm gonna go ahead and start the second coat on this one here. And as you can see on this one, I don't use as much. I go a little bit lighter because you're layering this time. And as you can see, that's the second coat. I just want to point something out here. What you don't want to do is letting your brush get too wet, or too dry, I'm sorry, or pushing too hard. You will kind of wrinkle it up, but it's okay. Just try not to tear it and be gingerly with it. All right, so the second layer is on, and I'm just going to say again, make sure your brush or sponge is wet and you do not press hard, because this is what you end up having. And like I said, it's not a big deal, it's not a total loss, it's not let's trash this, we can fix it, it's latex. So okay, I've done 3 layers on it. I'm going to do my first blood application using that, and all I typically do is dump it in a small cap and apply from there. And all I did was flick it, kind of streak it through. Nothing major, nothing special, just random, and let it completely dry. Now once it starts setting up a little bit, I'll stand it up so that way I can play gravity and let it drip a little bit. Now the first layer of blood that I have is dry, as you can see, to the touch. So then what I'm going to do is put a layer of latex on top of this. And just another layer on top of that. Just to show you what it looks like. It says it dries. It dries quicker the more layers of latex that you seem to have. So I'll let that dry, and then we'll do some more modeling of mud or blood. And then this is what I'm going to use for the next layer of blood. Again, I just fill that little cap up and just kind of mimic that randomly. And on that one, you can see the fresh, so to speak. There's no rhyme or reason to it, just drops and smears and splatters. So now that's all 4 pieces right now done with both bloods. Then what I'll do is wait for that to dry, put one more layer of latex on it, and then I will use the red acrylic paint. And then what I do is I'll take that and flip it the opposite way and use gravity to drip it again. All right, and then once again, this is the last coat that I put on, and I go pretty liberal. Just go for it. And I splatter it out and then smear it and flick it and spots and drips and just anything and everything that you could possibly think of. Don't worry about your mirror. You're not trying to save it for anything. If you are, that's what you got that razor blade for. So you can scrape all that stuff later right off. So this is our last layer. After this, we will put one more layer of silica or latex, and then we will actually start putting together the intestines. And I've got the last layer of latex on it, and you can see there it's already pretty much drying. So next we'll be actually making the intestine, and then again stand them up so that way fans can blow on it and kind of speed the process up. All right, so now I know you're all waiting to see what the magic trick is to make this into intestine, but we will get right to that. And I will have to say, using that new latex, we have literally used only half of one bottle, half the pint, and I did put it on a little heavy. So, you know, idealistically I get 3 sets of intestines like this out of 1 pint. All right, well, we're gonna get ready and start to assemble this, and the missing product is that. Paper towels, folks. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. I carry off a length long enough to fill that in, or not. Honestly, it doesn't matter because these are just a little half sheet towels. And if you don't have it long enough, just don't join the latex and add more paper towel and add it in there. Then what I do is I just kind of crumple it up a little bit and just make it look a little crinkly and everything else. And like I said, it doesn't matter because mine just tore anyway, so it doesn't matter if it goes all the way or not. I'll show you how to continue that anyways. So this is what you do with your paper towel, then you get ready to put it in there. So now what I do is I start that a little bit short of the beginning here, and I always leave it a little bit up from that. So just make sure that you have that a little gap right there. Now all I did here was just pick that latex up and folded it up and over so that way it joined itself. Sorry folks for that autofocus. Just fold it over onto itself so that way it holds that paper towel in there. Then you just kind of sort of do that, Leave it not super tight, but you know, halfway decent, all the way down the length here. And as you can see, I try to make sure the seams are sealed all the way around, so no paper towel is sticking out the bottom here. So then that way you can make sure it stays together. Just a little progressive shot here. Still working its way up. Now I'm at the spot where kind of tore that. You can see, like right here, all I do is just push that latex down. Sorry. To make that stick to itself. Now what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to take this piece and kind of tie it right into this a little bit. Not super too fat, but you know, kind of blend it as well as possible as when you fill it over, so then you have that past the end of your latex. And you can see right in here is where I've got those joined up inside the other paper towel. Now I've got the first piece completely encased in the latex, and as you can see, I have a paper towel sticking out the end. So what I do is take my hands and kind of roll it in this way and my other hand going this way at the simultaneous time, so that way you create a little bit more wrinkles to it. If I was able to show you that actual motion, I would love to. Unfortunately, I can't shoot the video and do the actual work at the same time. And see, automatically here, by going both ways at the same time, it's kind of hard to see, but it kind of automatically gets itself sort of a little more crinkleness to it. Right here, as you can see, it just literally kinked over on itself. So then I just keep doing that all the way down until I get this first one done. So I have the first one done. Sorry folks. The first one done here, as you can see. Kind of randomness. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but the skin itself is kind of twisted and crinkly. And then what I'll do is take this one and join it to that piece. So literally what I do is I take this piece here and bring it in, say roughly 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, just so that way the latex wraps each other really well. And I almost made my own mistake, but make sure you keep it up near the top there or down here, so that way you can roll it over. Then what I do is I do like I taught and said before, is I'll travel the paper towel up the length and leave some out the other side. Okay, then I join the seams, and as you can tell, it's really kind of hard to see where it's at. On here, I got the next piece of paper towel ready for the second piece. And then again, just making sure that you have all of that paper towel enclosed with inside that latex. Leave yourself a little out. You really don't have to. I've added 2 shorter ones after the fact, and it does work. It just makes it a little easier to make it one continuous piece when you have the paper towel joining them together. So I will continue to do that for the next 2, and then it is pretty much done, folks. And then there I'll do that for the third piece, spreading paper towel that far on down, and then I will do it again for the fourth and final piece. Folks, I need to let you know that this latex is still fresh and it is sticky. So you have to be careful when you have it stretched out like this. Do not let it hang on to itself because it will stick. And sometimes it can not be in your favor to where all your hard work just got tore and now you're in the mold of having to repair. So let's get these last two done and we'll see what we got. Again, folks, here's another seam done, and it's really kind of hard to tell. If you really didn't see it right here, when you have it out and hanging around, it is next to impossible to see where the seams are. Now I'm on to the last one, and a heads up, unless you plan on continuing after this here, don't let your paper towel go past here. You still can add to it, but it just seems to be a little bit better and hold up longer if that paper towel makes it through that seam. All right, folks, I got it all done. As you can see, on just shy of a 6-foot table. And this is what we ended up with. One end, working our way up, turning that, coming back down that 6-foot table, coming back up at least another 2 to 3 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, that was all made off of a 4-foot mirror. Now I let this dry naturally, or what you can do if you want to speed the process up so it doesn't stick is you can use baby powder. And when you do that, this is what it looks like. A little bit, sorry for that. It does whiten it up a little bit, which is fine, but you're able to handle it. It won't stick, and it is ready to go. Now, natural drying is what is being done here, and it was completely, and these were the ones that I did that kind of caught all your interest. So folks, I hope this helps you, and I hope you get your own intestines built for your haunt. Happy haunting, and I think the next tutorial will be how to make skin pieces.